This is the Simpit. I'm your host, Sean Cole, and welcome to today's edition of the Pit Stop, where you guys, the pit crew, you are the real star of today's show, because we are here to talk about sim racing news. And my God, for a Wednesday, I have so much to talk about. I have like 40 things to get through today. Some I want to talk about, some I'm just going to blow through because they're just out there for you to know about. And of course, you can just go check out the full story for yourself if you want more detailed information. But of course, if there's anything you guys want to talk about, I want to hear it. And we're going to open certain things up for just open discussion on certain topics. And I'm watching my stream and seeing that something is being a little weird. So I'm just going to cross my fingers that everything is working out right. I am actually not seeing the intro playing. Oh gosh, are we having one of those kind of mornings? Wouldn't you know it, we're having one of those kind of mornings. I am not seeing the stream going live. I see a green dot, but I'm not seeing any image. Anyway, hopefully we are live. Hopefully everything is going well. Hopefully you guys are having a good day, and happy Wednesday, hump day to everybody. I got my iRacing shirt on today. So today is Wednesday, and you can tell because I'm in the wrong shirt, unlike yesterday when I was in the wrong shirt and it was not. I'm going to refresh my screen. It just distracts me a little bit not seeing confirmation that the show is up and running. And it looks like it is. Okay, it looks like everything is good. So sorry about that, you guys. I just want to make sure it was working and that we weren't just sort of going black as I spoke along there. So looks like everything is great, and we can move on to the news as we wanted to do. And welcome to the show. Sorry about that rough intro, but just, again, want to make sure everything was up and running. So Project Cars, the actual vision is moving into round 4. As usual, they have their 3 different divisions, GT5, GT4, GT3, so you have plenty of different challenges that you can get out there and do, have some fun in Project Cars. Just this morning, I know John Hill was trying to fire up Project Cars and was having some problems with his controls, so I was talking him through it, and we do have more Project Cars news, or a challenge of sorts, coming towards the end of the show. So, moving along, the first round of the F1 eSport has finished up. I told you guys, go get on that board. I didn't get any images. Did any of you run? But here is our leaderboard. You want to see the best of the best in the F1 eSport series? Well, there it is. Patrick Holzman, new to the LDLC team. Wasn't he with Apex Racing prior to that, I do believe? But the interesting thing is, see his team name. Now, in talking and hearing from people, I thought this was only open to non-sponsored or signed drivers. You want to get an idea of other drivers. I see a G2, that's a Logitech guy. Looking down a little further, and now they're LDLC drivers with Liebert. G2 Isaac. So what's going on? What are the real rules? Is there confusion on what's going on here? The Flying Finn, is that Hapala. Enzo, is that Enzo Benito? He normally would be listed as a Redline driver. We have an avid chronic racer, Feller in there. Bono Hui with no team name. So it should be pretty interesting to see what plays out and who will actually be eligible for the draft versus being just on the leaderboard. Again, they're not just going by the top 20. They're drafting based on more information than that. I've been telling you guys about Richmond Raceway eSport and the whole thing that's going on there. They had their sponsored team, the Chaos Crew. Those guys are actually going to be at the event. So that is something I've been keeping my eye on, trying to wonder, would the Chaos Crew be at this event? How are they going to use these guys in promotion? How is this team or group going to be used as part of that Richmond Raceway eSport team, Chaos Crew? So that is going on. If you're in the Richmond area, you're definitely going to want to check that out. Racing Freak says the rule is you have to have permission by your team. Is that speculation or fact? I don't know that, Racing. I'm totally willing to submit that as comment, but I don't know. I mean, I was led to believe, and I could be very wrong, but yeah, Darren, that would be outstanding. We'll talk about that in a minute here. I'm sure some guys would love to have Sim Vibe out there. So anyway, that is interesting, and it will it'll be again, interesting to see how that F1 2000 eSport plays out. Because, again, maybe they need permission. But if they're going to be signed by another team, permission's one thing. Who you're signed with is another. Chris Phillips, no, I do not use Crew Chief. And not for any reason. Not for any particular reason. Anyway, okay, let me move along. And we'll talk about that sim vibe on tomorrow's show, and we'll get that underway. But sure, I'm always thrilled when manufacturers and vendors want to do giveaways through the show. That's awesome. So, excuse me. Next up, Crew 2, there is a bonus vehicle. So if you complete all 15 of their reward programs, you could unlock the Abarth 124 Spider. I actually thought this was like a painted up RX-7, like last gen RX-7. And apparently it's not. It's an Abarth 124. Don't think that car comes here to America. Here's Ken Bubowski, Bullock Basic, sorry, Bullock Bossy, who was on the top of the leaderboard. I believe this is the Xbox leaderboard, if I'm not mistaken. 264,040 was his score, which actually didn't even make the front page when we got to the final listing. It would have taken 264,731 to be on that front page top 10. Moving right along, we covered Richmond. No, I'm sorry. We covered Fernando Bossy. Today, this is going on today. You guys might have joined us for last month's version of the Rickmotech Hotlap Humpday. The cool thing about this event is all we really know is it's going to be a third Wednesday of every month, which is today. We know it's going to start at 6 p.m. Eastern Time and run till 10. And we know that it's going to run on iRacing. What we don't know is the car and track for tonight's challenge. But I will be there. Mitchie might be there as well. The Rickmotech crew and all their fans and customers in the Florida area will be there. I'll be streaming it from my end. They're going to stream it from their end. I will see where I can get on the leaderboard and see if I can do better than last month. And in addition to that, we will open up the doors once we go green, once we know who all is there. And we're going to get a few of you in on that as well. So if you guys would like to participate in that Hotlap Hump Day, you're going to need to be here. That will be 3 p.m. my time, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. And if you come out, you'll be able to hopefully join and get involved with the fun. WCCF Tech. They have all the new specs, performance, price, and release date. This is preliminary, so that means it could change on the GTX 1180 video card. So this is something I'll be keeping my eye on because I'm about to do a computer upgrade, and I want to make sure that I get exactly what I want to get at the right price. The thumbnail in today's image. Anybody have an idea? Anybody have any clue what today's thumbnail, what that car is, what the point of that car? It was actually in one of the main titles of the description of today's show. Anybody on top of this story? I'm excited. It's barely sim racing related, funny enough, but this is a new mod coming from the guys at Rockstar for Grand Theft Auto 5. And this is the Vespucci job. And very much being modeled after the Italian job, the movie, if you guys know it. Looks like it's going to have a confrontation mode of some sort, or the ability to play cops and robbers, perhaps. But again, I've talked about it often, the way they've kept Grand Theft Auto as the #1 selling franchise of all time is with quality DLC and add-ons. We talked about Need for Speed needing to take a break, their lack of vision, their lack of direction, their lack of ability to make something that inspires people. GT5 are the ones who get it right. And just catching up. Tom Jones, we're going to talk about that a little bit at the end of the show. Beyond that, just other articles talking about the GT. This is big news in the Grand Theft Auto world. And I haven't checked it out. I don't know if I'll actually get it, just because I don't think I actually have the time. Your wife has confrontation mode. We should get her a copy of this and see how she does. Also, Monster Energy. I haven't played this yet. I know Billy Strange did a piece on Monster Energy Supercross. We talked about their DLC, and here's the trailer video. Something else I know about the DLC, I guess there's, well, I don't know for a fact, but I've heard there's like rider customization and other things that are going on to it as well. Other game coming in the pike, and this is a augmented reality racing, Lightstream Racer. Excuse me, guys. Little stuffy and congested this morning, apparently. Sorry about that. Hello, Rhino. Get a couple hot hellos. Hello, everybody joining us for Wednesday Hump Day version of the Pit Stop. But this kind of looks cool, just in terms of fun. I like some of the visuals. I like the way it looks like it's a slot car track in a real world. Is that the augmented reality? Is that my room in the background and the cars just floating out there? This, to me, the reason I mention it, the reason I talk about it is to an extent, and, you know, maybe not for our iRacings, our Assetto Corsas, Project Cars, R-Factor 2, whatever, but maybe on our next tier level games, how cool would it be? Oh, come on, video. Video doesn't want to play at all. There it is. There it is. Racing your cars around your room. Hot Wheels, you know, slot car style. To me, this looks incredibly cool and incredibly fun. I don't know a lot of details about the game, but to me, whether you're talking this variation or how cool would it be if it was just a little bit more real car race type racing. But I don't know. I love the concept of racing in the environment of my room, like at a scale like this. It takes me back to childhood of setting up a slot car, using things like the desk, the chair, the table, the couch, whatever, to build my track and create hills and jumps that maybe weren't even intended in the slot car game itself. Anyway, I thought this was exceptionally cool and something worthy of talking about more for concept and something we want to do. I'm going to blow through some of these right here, but right here is a whole article about PS4 Pro's limited recording gameplay feature. I've tried to do some recording with the PS4 and found it very frustrating compared to just the old days of straight up capturing, and I've not been a big fan of it. I understand the original PS4 was actually supposed to come with a camera, but they dumped it for cost-saving reasons. But in this article, they go on to say perhaps they cut it because they knew it was garbage or crap. London, the EGX Rezzed show has finished up, and this is a big gaming event. A lot of independent titles, a lot of pre-release titles show up, giving people a chance to check it out. Article just telling you some of the things that you would have seen had you gone to London and seen it, including another article, and this one's at FNGR or fingerguns.net, and they do a specific review on Onrush, so if you want to know more about that game that I'm moderately excited about. Yeah, we have all the big names in the house. Billy, we just talked about you. We're going to talk about you in a minute as well. Next up, GamesIndustry.biz talks about loot boxes, skins, gambling to hit $50 billion by 2022. Man, when I hear these stories, it blows my mind at how big gaming. I mean, all my life I've had gaming. I've watched it grow. I've watched it shrink. I've watched it almost die and come back at a level that we never thought we'd see before. $50 billion for loot boxes, skins, and gambling by 2022. That's only 4 years away, guys. 4 years away. Interesting concept. Beacon. It's a wearable PC gaming device that lets you perform in-game actions by moving your foot. So here they show some videos using the keyboard combined with movements on your foot to do certain actions in-game. Interesting idea. Obviously, I can't imagine it'd be precise enough, but, you know, some people might like that type of thing. Dr. Evil, that's right. I am Dr. Evil. That is furthest thing from the truth, but there you go. Gravel has a free Ford Bronco in their DLC. It looks pretty cool. And in addition to that, game and stuff, just showing how, again, who wins the war on DLC? Is just, oh, here's a car, here's a track, here's the skin. Is that enough? Or do you need to be emulating these guys? I mean, in my mind, if you make a game, unless you're iRacing, Assetto Corsa, and those guys where maybe a car and track is a super big deal. But on the gaming scale, I don't think just a car, a track, or any of that is that big a deal. But an entire different type of gameplay, that's a whole different story. We got some shots from the Asus press room of their A-Res graphics cards and the whole lineup of the cards, the Expedition, the Phoenix, the Strix, and the Duel. Some great looking cards, and this just shows you the battle for 2018. I think it's safe to say the battle for 2018 is going to be in the graphics card market. And who's going to win that war? I don't know. I don't care who wins the war. What I want is them to keep pushing and driving prices down. And that's what we're going to get in the coming months. I think we're going to see a real fast change despite all the mining, Bitcoin card sales that have been going on. I know there's been a decline in that. And exactly, Nadella, the gouging is over. No more emergency pricing. Speaking of which, EVGA's 8GB version of the 1080 is down to just $580. So we are getting we're getting down to those prices that they were supposed to be. And that's great for all of us, especially me who needs to be building a new system as we speak. Another thing that we're seeing sales, changes, updates in is in the world of VR. Every day I get on our Discord channel with the patron group. Every day VR is a topic of discussion. And so Lenovo Explorer Mixed Reality got a review. Not the best review in the world, but again, another one getting into the market. This is really cheap, though. Check this out. The Lenovo Explorer Windows Mixed Reality headset right now is down to $199. That comes with the controllers, which you don't need for sim racing, but it is good for navigating the menus in Windows Mixed Reality. That's what I learned about Windows Mixed Reality. No, I don't need the controllers if all I'm going to do is sim race, but I do need the controllers to easily navigate the menu system of the VR world. So, this is kind of cool. $199. I have not heard great things about the Lenovo. I've never used it myself. However, at $199, it might be a good way to get in on it. Vive Pro. Now, this is the one I really want to try. The Vive Pro has got some updates. The audio, I guess, had some issues, but through Steam Surround VR, they've made some improvements. They know about some screen issues that they're getting, but they did make an update, and they are working on getting it better. But things about the Vive do intrigue me. So that's something I might be trying out. More deals on VR. Another $50 off on Oculus. I have to admit, to this point in time, if I were going to buy a VR, if I had to have one today, I would probably get an Oculus. And it's the speed, it's the latency, it's the lightness of the mask. There are some mods to reduce the fogging. At $350, it's a good deal. My only hesitation and why I wouldn't tell everyone to go run out and buy one for $350 is that I think we're going to see next gen coming, and we still might be a little too soon. David tried out the Lenovo, and he preferred it over the Rift. Graphics are sharper, but the sweet spot isn't so good. David, it sounds like you had an similar experience that I had with the Samsung, and that there were certain aspects I liked better, like some of the clarity. But on the other hand, I didn't like some of the things, like it just didn't register as fast, and it didn't push as high a frame rate because of that clarity. Stu, I don't know why they're not rectangle. Some are round, some are kind of ovalized. This is, so if you have a PlayStation VR and you can't stand it and you want to get rid of it, you can sell it at GameStop for $90. That's their price if you're just looking for the resale market. I have no idea, and I meant to look it up when I pulled this up, and I didn't. I meant to look up what are they going for on, like, eBay or something like that, but $90 is what they're going to give you. The other thing I'm going to look up is what does a used PlayStation VR go for? So what exactly is their markup. You know, how much money are they making on our used ones? Our funny video of the day is at Jalopnik. Not that we have a funny video every day, but they're telling you to be careful out there. So here's a video from the FIA. FIA World Rallycross, just to be clear. FIA World Rallycross. And you can see this guy takes a big dump trying to start off the grid. And lucky it wasn't 15 seconds later he'd be under those cars. But I thought that was kind of funny. Our hero. Our favorite guy. Ajit Pai. I don't know his name, but I'd call him worse than that. Anyway, the former FCC broadband advisor arrested on $250 million fraud charges. Anyway, there is our hero of the day, and I'm sure everything they're doing for us in the net neutrality world is in our best interest. I'm certain of it. Look at this guy. I know he's working in my best interest. Absolutely. Just another story, nothing to do with sim racing, but I know a lot of Pagani lovers out there. But supposedly Pagani starts work on an electric supercar. This is an area that is kind of... Do we want electric supercars? Some do, some don't. But I know, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, I think McLaren said they're not going to get into this. At least that's what I thought I heard from them. Pagani, they're going that way. They're going that way for sure. This one, I probably wouldn't have brought this story, but Lackawanna College announces a new eSport program. So we've heard college after college doing scholarships, eSport programs, all sorts of things in our world. I thought this was a joke. If this had been on April 1st, I would have been Lackawanna College. Lackawanna do anything? Lackawanna go to school? What an interesting name for a college. So that's I mentioned it not because of the esports story, but because I cannot believe that somewhere there's a Lackawanna College. And if any of you are Lackawanna alumni, I apologize for clowning on your school, but it did make me laugh. Next up, I see you guys just talking on some electric supercars. You know, Bucho, I feel the same way. To me, a big part of automotive culture is something that I got by going to the race. And I watch racing on Sunday, and I love it. And even though I went to Long Beach, and admittedly, sitting in the stands, you don't see as much as you see on TV. But there was one moment in particular where our whole gang was sitting in the stands together, and I thought, man, this sound, this smell, it was that moment the smell had gone in my nose, the vibration in my chest. That is why I go to real life racing. It is the sight, it's the smell, it's the sound. And when I think of racing, and I'm not talking about my daily driver to get to work and back. You know what? If I have to commute 30, 60 miles, hybrid, electric, sure, maybe on an economical level, it makes sense. But when it comes to supercars, when it comes to racing, man, I want to see it, smell it, and feel it. And you're not going to get that feel or the same smell with electric cars. You're going to smell some tires still, but instead of that exhaust smell, you're gonna get burnt motor, electric motor. Anybody ever smelled a burnt up electric motor? It is not a pretty smell. While I would argue that burnt gas to most of us is a great smell. Ganja College, Lackawanna College. You can get a horticulture scholarship to Lackawanna. Yes, John, it was Jessica that I actually said that to about the sight, the smell, and the feel, and that's why I'm here versus watching it on TV. A couple stories sent to me, not a lot to talk about, but if you're into jet ski type racing, Wave Race Director drops heavy hint Colt Racing Series may return soon. I don't know what the Colt Racing Series, but it is sim racing related, so I do talk about it. AMD firing shots at NVIDIA over their GeForce Partners program, saying freedom of choice is a right. And this is I saw T-Bone's comment. This is a topic that has come up in gaming, in various different things in life. Is it monopolistic? Is it illegal to streamline the process? Windows has gotten in problems a million times where their business practices prevent their competitors from having a chance. And as AMD is making their big comeback on the physical side in terms of making quality products, they are also coming at them on the legal side, making sure to pave the way and make sure that they have a best chance. You know, and admittedly, it's been some rough years for AMD, so they might need help legally to make sure they have an opportunity, a chance to compete fairly. And again, what do I want? I want good video cards at cheap prices, so I'm all for it. Let's get this guy on it, right? Eurofighters Championship Rulebook. Don't know anything about it, and I would have assumed it was like some Street Fighter tournament. It was sent in to me as well, and so I just want to kind of cover it, because if it gets sent to me, then it's something that I think others have interest in. So this was sent in by Dennis Lindblad, and a lot of the other stories were sent in by Thamon. So many people do send things in, and I want to thank all you guys for that, because it's a big help when I pull the shows together. But gives you an idea of the full rundown, their schedules, the layout, the conditions. And I like that they at least put out all the information that you need to know. So if that's something that you know about SRO, the Eurofighter, sorry I don't know more about it, but it was sent in, so I'm just kind of covering it so you can know about it. And then that takes us to a real bummer story of the day. And I know you guys, a lot of you know what I'm about to talk about. I have to admit, this is something I actually kind of breaks my heart. And you can say what you want about the Red Bull Global Rallycross. To me, this was like one of the most exciting things in racing, and maybe even setting the tone for what other racing needs to do. We talk about, you know, Grand Theft Auto being innovative with their mods. We talk about Need for Speed needing to shut it down for their lack of imagination. Well, I kind of felt that GRC brought that imagination to racing at a time where racing needed some new ideas, some fresh blood, some new excitement. Well, if you go to the GRC site, you'll notice that almost all the news you're going to find on there, except for the pictures of the guys, is actually on iRacing. It's kind of hard to find any real fact. Well, you go to their Twitter feed. They're talking about Razors, talking about iRacing. I don't see him talking about, oh, here's finally, but that's not even a real GRC video. Well, look across the board here. Top stories. Red Bull Global Rallycross shuts down for 2018. Leaves a trail of unpaid bills. Another story, that's at Auto Week. Road and Track. Red Bull Global Rallycross reportedly ceases operations. Jalopnik. Ugly lawsuit documents the implosion of Red Bull Rallycross. Apparently, and this isn't Red Bull, so let's get our story straight. You have two different groups working together here. You have Red Bull, the sponsor of Global Rallycross, and you have the guys behind Global Rallycross. And from what I have read, and I have read a few of these stories, track after venue after venue are complaining that they have not been given the money that they're given from various events that had happened. And GRC managed to collect the gate fees, and the track managed to pay for the facility and a lot of the security and other things to facilitate and run event. And then when it was time to get paid, they didn't, or they got a fraction of what they were supposed to get paid. All of this, as far as I'm concerned, is speculation at this point. And the reason I say it is because if you go to Global Rallycross, there's still nothing official from them. Until it's official, it's speculation. Even my comments about that maybe Red Bull, you know, that it was two different groups. I'm pretty sure about that, but, you know, let's not quote me on that. Let's not get in a lawsuit on our end. But to me, it's a real shame. What's going to happen to the iRacing Global Rallycross? I believe there's a chunk of money on that championship. Where's that chunk of money? I hope it wasn't coming from the guys at Global Rallycross. What impact will it have there? What impact will it have on other games we play? What impact will it have on racing across the board? Racing needs every break they can get to continue to grow or to not shrink. These kind of things don't help. So I'm sorry to end, and I'm not going to end on a somber note. I'm going to end by going back to tonight's fun. Tonight's fun, which is going to be Hotlap Humpday, 6 o'clock Eastern, 3 o'clock Pacific. Come out, watch it, see how I do, see how Mitchie, if he makes it to the event, see how he does against the Richmond Tech guys. They have some really fast guys. They also let some of the guys from the Extreme Motorsports get in on the business. Those guys are lightning fast. Yeah, what's going to happen to Mitchell DeJong? He's a good friend of the show, of sim racing community. And what's going to happen to guys like him who are, just starting to get a name for themselves and make a career in racing? What's going to happen to them? So anyway, come out tonight. We'll be on iRacing. You'll hear that incredible voice about from Kevin Ford calling the shots. I'll have that stream on my end as well. So there'll be a lot of cool stuff to watch tonight, and some of you can get out there and join us for the race as well. Stu, yes, I did, and I will try to take care of that today. Today is catch-up day. SRS, I will not be there this evening, Doug, because I'll be at the Hotlap Humpday, unfortunately. I'll have to do some offline practice, but I know all the guys are going to be getting ready for tomorrow and Friday night's SRS races, which I will be at both of those. In addition, I'm always telling you guys to get out there, have fun, and set some marks. So one of the big challenges right now on Project Cars, their monthly, weekly challenges, is at Laguna in the Ferrari. And Billy Strange went out and decided he'd throw down the gauntlet to all of you. And so he sent this in today, and he set, I can't see it on my screen, a 1:23.4 it looks like. And I understand he's improved that time, but if you want to see if you can beat Billy, get out there and go into that challenge. Mazda Raceway in the Ferrari. You'll see the challenge. You'll see Billy's name up on the board. So that way you can go ahead and see how you compare to his time. Maybe I'll have some chance to get out there today and do that as well. But if you do, send me a screenshot. I want to see how you fared. Maybe we'll talk about it on tomorrow's show. So that is going to do it for right now. Had a blast talking sim racing with you guys. Happy Hump Day. Get out there and do some racing. And join us this evening for that Richmond Tech Hotlap Hump Day. Get out there and show Billy Strange what you can do in Project Cars 2 at Mazda Raceway. So that is going to do it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your great comments, great conversation on today's show. I look forward to it each and every day. This is the Simpit. I'm Sean Cole, and I'll see you on the track.